you know, I just don't need to worry about it. There's people taking care of all the reception details, people taking care of all the rehearsal stuff. Everything's going on all right. So Anna's in here ironing. And
Traditionally, the bride does not let the groom see her the entire day of the wedding, but we're not getting married till 7 p.m. Anyway, so we're going to be getting pictures taken before the wedding. That way we can see each other, we can be together, and we'll be able to leave faster.
seriously, for real, we have not kissed at all. We have talked about it some.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday, April 18th. We are on the day of taxes. So I did an update yesterday and I said, like, you should do your taxes if you haven't done your taxes yet. A lot of you probably have already done your taxes because you got refunds. But there are people like me out there in the world that are small business owners or make more than they get refunds for. So they actually have to pay in. And so lots of us will wait until the very last day of those taxes being due and make that payment. And yesterday I spent literally our whole day doing the taxes for my family, and we definitely have a lighter wallet. Let's just say less money in here today. And but it's all done. Get your taxes done. Be a good citizen, pay those taxes so that you don't end up in court for tax evasion. Now, in the middle of all of this, we've had some updates with the Duggars. Anna Duggar actually resurfaced on Instagram. This is the first time we've seen her in a very long time, and she's smiling. She looked ecstatic, she looked happy, and she was at a wedding redo for a family member or a friend. Now, this photograph of her showed up on a friend's Instagram who's now gone very, very silent and privated their Instagram. But I will note that the picture is about 4 months after Josh's guilty verdict. Now, today is a very big day for Josh Duggar's case because all of the trial transcripts have been released. So before we go into the picture about Anna and what my thoughts are about that and seeing her post-trial, I want to bring you circle back to the December trial that happened, and because of the way that it was done, there was no recording devices offered or allowed in court. Because no recording devices were in court, we only got snippets of what was happening in real time. In fact, a lot of it was happening very delayed, and we were all like just waiting on bated breath. It was a packed courtroom, but not a big courtroom, so not a lot of people could actually be inside. There was a live feed that was being done by The Sun, which a lot of us were like, how is this even happening? How are they getting live updates to us from the courtroom? Well, I'll get into that in another video, but apparently a reporter was actually caught trying to sneak in a recording device, and they actually found some illegal recordings on their recording device, which were other hearings, nothing from the trial. So I don't know if that was either wiped from the recording device or if she really did just take notes and accidentally tried to bring it into the courthouse on 3 separate days. But we'll get into that later. But, you know, on the day of the verdict, we have the transcripts now, and we have the day of the verdict actual court proceedings. And there's 8 volumes of transcripts that were released today in court. And the volumes are extensive, you guys. I was going through them, and I can't even get through all of it. And I have to put my hat out to all of the jurors that sat through the technical testimony, because it's days of technical testimony. I am guessing it was so hard to listen to the dueling reports from the experts going back and forth about the logistics and who was looking into it, and was it the magical thumb drive, and did the remote access person come in, and reading it all is even as chaotic as it sounded at the time when we were reporting it. Now, on the day of the verdict, I was actually shocked because the verdict was so fast. The actual transcripts are less than 20 pages long. And if you know anything about court transcripts, they're generally in the hundreds of pages. And on that day of the verdict, the jury came in and it was like business guilty, guilty. No discussion from Josh. So I always was like wondering on that day, did Josh say anything when he was like found guilty? According to the court docket or the court transcripts, they read the court read and they said, we the jury find defendant Joshua James Duggar guilty, and that was signed by juror number 27th. And then they did the second count, which was again signed, and it was guilty. And this was a unanimous decision. And they asked the court, like, the government, do you want us to do a poll of the jurors to figure out, like, if it was unanimous? And the government declined, but of course, Josh Duggars wanted to hear the roll call. And so they basically just went through all the different jurors, and they all just said, is this your verdict? Is he guilty? And they all said, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, it is, yes, sir, blah, blah, blah. I was like reading through it. I was like, is there going to be anything from Josh? Like, nothing. And because there's no cameras, you can't pan over to Josh and like see if there's a reaction from him. And the court reporter is not going to take note of that. Once they did the unanimous verdict, the judge actually thanked the jury for everything that went down. They explained that, the jury doesn't get to talk to anyone from the court without the court's permission. And then they talked about remanding Josh into custody. So once the jury was removed from the courtroom, they put Josh into custody. And once Josh was put into custody, his attorneys did try to fight his being remanded. So why he was remanded was the judge said that there was just no ways around it. He had to be put into custody regardless if he was a perfect bail on bond person. And he did say that Josh complied 100% with his bond conditions, but he had to be remanded. And so it was super fast. He explained why he had to be remanded, and then the court was out and Josh was taken into custody. That was it, like nothing else. I was shocked at how fast it went. I thought there would have been like something from Josh, or I thought Josh would have said something. Nothing. Nothing at all. Not a peep. He didn't actually even address the defendant either. Now, so that happened on December 9th, and if you remember, after the verdict, Anna came running out, and she was really upset, and obviously her husband was just found guilty, and he was taken to the detention center in Washington. So after the verdict, a lot of us were like, okay, Anna is going to leave Josh. There's no way she's going to stay, because after all of this evidence, she sat in court all these days, there's actually no possible way that she could believe that he was innocent, except she is still standing by her man. But last week, she was at a wedding redo for a friend. So recently, there's been this woman on Instagram that's been posting photographs with the Duggars. And this is a woman who is like a daughter of, or someone, she's connected to the pastor who married Jessa and Ben. Okay, that's what I've been told from some of my subscribers. So this person is connected to the pastor that did Jessa and Ben's wedding, and they also are sort of integrated into the Medicorp stuff, and so probably in the IBLP world. Now, what I thought was really, really surprising here is that Anna was at a wedding redo, so they did they renewed their vows after 5 years. The bride was wearing a strapless gown. I was like shocked. I was like, is this the IBLP? Are we serious? Are we seriously going to talk about the IBLP girls wearing strapless gowns? Michelle Duggar was in photographs with this family as well. So Michelle Duggar was there. She looked happy as a clam. So happy. And then Anna was beaming. And I was like, wow. Anna was beaming. So I have a couple thoughts about this. Anna has been very reclusive for months. Nobody has seen her. We've all just been imagining her sitting at home, maybe popping in some like Netflix, eating some cake, being sad, depressed. Not Anna. Anna is out at weddings looking ecstatic. Now, okay, you guys, I understand. It's the IBLP, so you always have to be joyful and available, and you also have to smile all the time. But I'm like, okay, so we saw her smiling at Christmas with her kids, and now we see her smiling at this wedding. So I'm like, okay, what if What if Anna, even though she's standing by Josh, is like relieved, like literally relieved that she doesn't have to deal with him for now? What if she's just happy to be free of his like requirements, his demands, having to be there for him? What if she's happy that her uterus is going to get a rest for the first time in like, I don't know, the 10 plus years she's been married to Josh? What if she's just happy to have a break? Now, I understand you can be happy momentarily when you're going through a tough time. And I'm not here to put light on the fact that what Anna's going through right now is very difficult. Nor am I trying to suggest that Anna doesn't have a right to find spots of happiness through all of this. What I just continually find myself surprised by is, one, her standing by the Duggars, but then now this wedding redo, she's at an event with all of the Duggars. So whatever tension had been sort of happening during the trial has seemed to calm down. And if you remember, there was a lot of infighting that was happening leading up to the trial because Anna was standing by Josh, and some of the siblings were not happy with that. And they felt like she was enabling Josh. That's what my sources said. Now, the Duggars are like with Anna. They're at this wedding. Everyone's looking happy. Everyone's looking great. Even Miss Michelle is there smiling ear to ear. But no Jim Bob. We have seen Michelle quite frequently since the trial in photographs. You know who we have not seen? Jim Bob Duggar. Jim Bob is not as out there. And I wonder why. I wonder if Jim is not wanting to be photographed. I'm wondering if he doesn't want to be seen, if he's embarrassed about losing that election, if he's feeling maybe embarrassed by his son's conviction, not happy with the backlash. Michelle's putting herself out there. She's been seen visibly. I mean, we saw Jim in the wedding video for Jeremiah. So, I mean, we have seen him, but we're not seeing him as frequently as we used to. And we're not seeing like the posts on their Instagram praising mom and dad, or even like the kids. It's like the Duggars have disappeared. But Michelle has traveled to see Ginger. She's at this wedding redo. She's out with the girls at this event with all the ladies. So Anna and Michelle are clearly still like connected. And I'm guessing because, you know, Michelle's probably helping Anna with the kids. But is Anna happy because she finally doesn't have to deal with Josh? Or is she just having a moment where she looks good? Now, I did notice that her hair looks a lot like it used to before Josh. Remember how she used to wear her hair down and like would have it back? She actually had her hair styled like that. So I was like, is Anna going back to her roots pre-Josh? Is Anna going to ever leave this world? Not likely anytime soon, but at least she looks good. We can only hope that at some point she'll actually wake up. All right, you guys, tell me what your thoughts are. Be waiting because more will be coming about the trial. Bye, guys.